Namaste and welcome to the sort of gentle warm up and easing the body. Just a simple little practice. As always, modify where you need to, dive deeper where there's space to explore, but most importantly, enjoy it. So let's come into a comfortable seated position. Could be on a chair, it could be on the floor. And we'll close the eyes or just soften the gaze, and we'll take a few moments just to check in and notice and feel, just connecting into the moment, allowing the body to find its position, allowing it to settle into the space. And then finding the yogic breath, gentle breath in and out through the nose. Steady breath in and out. Don't worry if the mind wanders, just check back in with the breath. Let's place one hand around the navel and the other hand just underneath the collarbones. And you're not trying to force the breath into these spaces underneath the palms, just get a sense of that breath. And you're ready to breathe out the next time. You can let the hands relax. You could lower the chin to the chest, let the eyes blink open. And we'll bring the head back to center when you're ready. We'll just start with a few shoulder circles and giving yourself a little time just to see how the body feels. Depending on what time of day you practice, it might feel different in the morning to the evening. Just exploring the movement. You don't have to do exactly what I'm doing. You could alternate, you can switch that around a little bit. Yeah, and then we'll let that go, and we're going to come and sit. I've got some bricks ready for the next sort of part of the practice. So if you need props, go ahead and grab them. But just pop them to one side or use a blanket or something that you need to sit on, whatever's comfortable for you in your lower back. So knees bent, feet on the earth. And we'll do a little bit of seated cat-cow. So as you exhale, rounding, flexing the spine, big tailbone tucks under, chin towards chest. Inhale, spreading and lengthening across the whole front line of the body. Again, going at your pace, rounding the spine as you breathe out. Inhale, lifting and extending through the spine as you breathe in. And exploring, being inquisitive, and feeling your way through these physical practices. Uniting your awareness with the body. And an advantage of having a pre-recorded class is that you could pause the recording and you could linger a little bit longer. You could explore one particular aspect a little more, or you can skip through. Suggest you pause a little bit though, rather than just skipping through. Especially the stuff, if you find it challenging, just do it nice and gently. So we'll do that one more time. Relax for a moment as you finish that next round. You can extend the legs away, give the legs a little bit of a shake out. And go ahead and just point and flex the feet. So in this short space of time, we'll try and get as much movement from head to toe. So do some rotations for the ankle joints, a couple of times one way, and then the other. And you could do the wrists at the same time if you want to multitask a little bit. Pointing and flexing and just mixing it all up. Good. Wiggle fingers, wiggle toes, shake out those legs. And we're going to go ahead and come around onto hands and knees for cat. Pad out if you need that little bit of cushioning under the wrists and the knees. And find your position. Again, just finding the length of the spine. Really conscious of that. Breathing in, just gently opening through the front line. And then exhale, extending and lengthening through the back line of the spine and the body. Please go at your pace, inhaling. Nice, steady breath. Exhale. Nice, steady breath. So feel free to continue with that. Lowering and lifting through the spine. There's a little bit more energy to work it out. Then you could increase the range of movement, rounding the spine as you breathe out, bottom back to heels. Inhale, chest low, elbows in, pressing up, working the arms, activating the arm muscles a little bit. Rounding the spine as you breathe out. Inhale. Exhale. Let's keep that going. Just a few more rounds. Please work at your pace. You feel you want to be a little bit more creative with your cat, then you could explore moving around in that circular flow or in that figure of 8 shape. Just working a little bit more instinctively, feeling your way with this and the body. And if you feel that you've done enough at any point or you need a little breather, just come back to that lifting and releasing through the spine or pressing back into child pose for a moment. You can make it very comfortable, support the head. And just take another moment or two, either moving through cat or resting in child pose if that's what you need. And when you're ready, let's all come back and meet in cat shape. We'll just tuck the toes under. We'll work a little bit into a sort of easing the legs into a walking downward dog. But let's take the hands, that hand length further forward. When you feel ready, think about pressing finger pads down so the wrists are relaxed a little bit, and then working through lifting the hips and working at your range, your pace. Nice and steady, sort of cycling out those legs, just enjoying that feeling of release through one side and then the other. When you've worked equally through both sides, let's come back, meet in cat. Ease the wrists out. If you have wrist problems, we can move it onto the forearms and work that way for this next little movement. I'm going to a bit more movement through the spine and start to engage the core a little bit to get the heat building slowly. So we're going to work into a flowing tiger variation. So it looks a little bit like this if you want to check in. It's that extension of the legs straight back behind you, trying to keep the hips parallel so you're not twisting through the spine. So you do that as you breathe in. And then as you exhale, we're trying to draw knee and nose towards each other. So let's go ahead and get set up for that. If the wrists are aching, you can do this with the forearms down. I'm going to do 5 on the right side and then 5 on the left. Stop at any point that you need to. So bring the knees a little bit close together. I think neutral spine, navel lifting ever so slightly just to support the core of the body. We'll exhale together to begin. And as you inhale, take that right leg back, not twisting the hips or the spine, look slightly forward. Exhale, really squeezing knee and nose towards each other. That's 1. Inhale, there's no rush with this. Stay strong. Exhale. 2. Inhale. Exhaling. 3. Inhale. Exhaling. 4. Inhale. Exhaling. 5. If you breathe in this time, just release the knee down. Decide if you want to have a little breather and come into child pose, or even press back into downward facing dog. If you're feeling really energetic, you can move through a little vinyasa before you switch to the opposite side. We want to keep it simple, but the choice is yours. So go ahead, let's reset once you've done what you need to do. And we'll take 5 on that left side. So we'll breathe out together. Inhale, left leg goes back. Exhale, hugging knee towards the face for 1. Inhaling. Exhaling. 2. Inhale. Exhale. 3. Inhale. Exhale. 4. Inhale. And exhaling. 5. As you breathe in, pop the knee down. Exhale, either going back into child pose for a breather or coming into downward facing dog. If you're feeling energetic, you could go through a little vinyasa flow, breathing into plank, exhale, lowering down knees, chest, chin. Inhale into that low cobra. And then exhale back to downward dog. And let's all meet back in cat. Widening the knees. Bring the big toes to touch, and we'll take the seat towards the heel. So as far back, making that connection where possible. So feel the hips moving back towards the feet, even if they don't connect. And then reaching the hands forward, pressing the palms into the earth, forearms lifted off the mat. And then letting the trunk of the body just sit between the inner thighs, bringing the head down. So it's a little bit more active. It's not just a resting child pose. It's a little more active. So staying there just a little bit longer, I'll come up so I can give you some more guidance. So feel there's a length through the spine, releasing into the hips a little bit. A little bit of work in the joints. Good, wonderful, lovely. And ever so slowly after your next exhale, retrace your steps, coming back onto all fours. And we'll just add a layer. And again, if the wrists need that little bit of extra support, try this on forearms. A little trickier, but it's doable. Now we're coming back into that tabletop position. And this time, we're just going to do 3 on each side, but we're going to do opposite arm and leg. So finding neutral, I'll give you a quick visual so you know what's going on. So as the right leg goes back behind you, at the same time, the left arm's going to stretch out in front. And as you exhale, you're squeezing into the center. So just 3 times on the right, 3 times on the left. So I'll start with you. Find that neutral spine, knees a little bit close together. Steady the breath. Let's exhale together. As you inhale, right leg back, left arm out in front. As you exhale, hug the elbow and the knee towards each other for 1. Inhale, reaching the arm and the leg out, away from each other. Exhale, squeezing into that midline for 2. Inhale, reaching out. Exhale, coming into the center, 3. As you breathe in, pop the hand and the knee down, pause. Decide if you want to just stay in neutral cat, maybe wiggle the spine, go back into child pose, down dog, a little vinyasa flow, depending on the energy. And then we'll prepare for the opposite side. So when you work through what you're doing, come back into that neutral cat position. And we'll work with the left leg going back and the right arm going forward. So let's exhale first. Inhale, send the arm and the leg away from each other. And as you exhale, squeezing into that center for 1. Inhale, left leg back, right arm forward. Exhale, 2. Inhale. Exhale, 3. As you breathe in, pop the knee down, the hand down. Either sink back into child pose for a moment. We'll take a little bit more of an active flow. Let the forehead rest down. Steady the breath. Easy breath in, easy breath out throughout. Just take a few more breaths. Now, as you exhale the next time, you're going to release from cat. You're going to come around and sit on your bottom. And we'll just extend the legs out for a moment. Give the legs a little bit of a shake. And we'll just move a little deeper into the hip joints. So let's go ahead and bend the knees so that your feet are as wide as your mat. I know I'm not sitting in the same way as perhaps you are, but make sure your feet are not this close. They're as wide as the hip, if not a little bit more generously wider, so that we can do this internal, external rotation action that most of you are very familiar with. Now, if you prefer, you can lean back a little bit and take it really steady, just creating that easy rolling in and out. Don't have to go far for the benefits to be created. If you feel comfortable with this, try this in this upright position, massaging into the hip joints by rolling, see if the knee doesn't touch the foot, and then come through to center, reach over. You can always put your hands down. Just get used to that flowing movement. And again, watching the knees, keeping this nice shape, these nice angles. And go nice and steady. If you find yourself creeping down the mat, don't worry, just wiggle back. If you feel quite comfortable, then you don't need to put your hands down. Just see where you are within that. And next time those knees go over towards the right side, let's just stay there. So we have this nice right angle position, and we'll hinge forward a little bit over this right leg. So nice flex foot. And maybe by going a little deeper, you can feel that release around the muscular aspect. This is where the bricks might be helpful. You can put your hands on the bricks so you get a little bit of support without straining. Or maybe you can ease a little further in there, not holding this too long. Nice flowing breath in and out. Really working in this sort of easy, sort of simple warm-up. The whole of the body, but particularly movements around the spine. So slowly going to come up. So around the spine, down the spine and around the hips, and go over to the opposite side. So it might be beneficial if you have any backaches or back pains. You're going to come over that other side. Again, use props if that helps. Stay more upright if that's what the legs need to do. Adapt the position. If this right leg doesn't like that shape, change it. We're getting a little bit more familiar with these movements now. And keeping the mind focused on the breath, ever present. Although we're working and concentrating on the physical movements, the mind benefits by being in that state of focus. And just lingering just a couple more breaths. And as always, you might be well aware that one side feels a lot different to the other, and we know that's quite normal. And the next time you're ready to breathe in, let's come up and out, easing those knees back to center and extending the legs out in front. Nice little shake, a little bit of a wiggle. A little bit further into releasing into the hips. By all means, sit on props or a blanket. You're going to keep the legs straight out, feet flex. You're going to bend the right knee, coming into a twist, an easy twist. Step that right foot to the outside edge of the left knee. Keep that left foot flexed. Hugging and holding onto that right shin bone and knee. Nice tall spine throughout as you breathe in and out. And use the exhale to start to take the rotation to the right side, bringing the right hand behind you for support. Ease back a little bit if it helps you make a little bit more space. And then sit as tall as you can. Really feel you lifting away from the pelvis. And only moving into that rotation if you feel there's the space there, and using that exhale to guide you. So you know you're going to hold the leg. You can hook the arm around. You can take the elbow to the opposite side. We'll do one more breath here. As you finish that, you can exhale to unwind, come back to center, ease out that right leg, give the legs a little shake, recenter, connect the sit bones to the earth, feet flex, bend the left knee, stepping that left foot to the right side, nice tall spine, holding onto that left shin bone, right foot flex. Lengthen the spine, sitting tall as you breathe in. Exhale, turning when you're ready to the left. Left hand behind you, that little bit of support, easing into the shake, finding your way, taking all the time you need. And encouraging a little bit of movement rotation each time you breathe out, if that's necessary or available. And the spine stays tall as you breathe in and out. And the next time that you're ready to exhale, let's unwind, come back to center, shake out the legs. I'm going to turn around. You can stay on your mat if you're positioned lengthways. And let's just see if we can use the abdominal muscles a little bit. Knees can be bent or straight, so that you can slowly roll the spine down, working on a little bit of physical strength. And just take a moment so the body can enjoy that connection, that release into the earth. Let's start to bend the right knee, bringing the right thigh in towards the chest, holding wherever's most comfortable, back of knee, on the top of the knee. Again, trying to draw, to begin with, this right thigh in towards the chest rather than out to the side. Shoulders relaxed. Just easing into the hip flexors a little bit, releasing into the lower back. And go ahead if you wish, if you like. You can point and flex or make ankle rotations here on that right side. As you breathe out the next time, let's release that right leg. Extend it across the earth. Reposition the pelvis, and you're ready to breathe out. Let's bring the left side in. Remember, hugging the thigh towards the sort of heart center, not out to the sides. And again, only sort of hugging as close as is comfortable today. Relaxing the shoulders. You're not pulling or forcing, it's just very gentle. Drawing thigh in towards the body. And if you enjoy that movement through the foot, the ankle, you can add that. So just making sure that we've gently eased through as many areas of the body as we can, just slowly warming up. So if you wanted to move on and do a little bit more, you can, or you can just use this segment as your sort of standalone physical practice. As you breathe out the next time, release that left leg, let it extend out. And then this time we'll bring both knees in towards the chest, holding wherever's most comfortable. Maybe just doing those little micro movements. You really feel that the back of the body has had a little tension. If you like those hip circles, then a couple of those. Just so you feel the whole of the body has had some time. Now you wiggled around, you could spend a little bit more time, you could do happy baby if you wish, but we're going to leave it here. You're going to pop the feet back on the floor and extend the legs, extend the arms, and just take a few moments here, as long as you have, just to concentrate on the breath again. So you could have one hand over the navel area, the other, and just underneath those collarbones. You can just let the arms rest. And take as long as you have just to focus all your attention, all your efforts into that yogic breath. I'm going to leave you there with that. And whenever you feel ready, when you feel that you've done enough, you can ease back to seated and just pause for a moment, maybe ready to continue with the rest of the day, or just using this as a wind down before you go to bed. Thank you. Namaste.